Boom.
Hi, I'm Colleen Witt. Welcome to Eating While Broke, and today we have some pretty amazing guests. We have Kidding and his beautiful, lovely, amazing wife, Asiah. And
how y'all doing?
Today, what are we making? Asiah is going to lead this whole episode and teach us how to make pizza toast today.
Yes, pizza toast. If we're talking about eating while broke, in the house, you might not have pizza sauce, but you might have spaghetti sauce. That works as well.
Yeah.
You'll usually have bread, hopefully, you know, the basics, cheese. We have some turkey pepperoni, which I know isn't typical, but we don't eat pork. And some jalapeno peppers.
And those are pickled.
Pickled.
Which is interesting.
I don't know nothing about that.
The sliced ones you get are pickled.
Oh.
Like on top of your nachos.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you mean just in the jar?
Okay.
Oh, got it.
Oh, I thought it had to say
like
pickled.
it's pickled instead of fresh.
But mind you, this whole purpose is because obviously I can't order a pizza, so this is the next best thing.
This is trying to find whatever ingredients you have at home to
try to make that pizza make sense.
So first, you wash your hands.
Mm-hmm.
Then
I hand sanitized it.
You're gonna dress up your pizza. Everyone grab a slice.
Here, I'll grab one. So when was the last time you guys can remember actually eating a meal like this?
She was mentioning earlier we still have to eat like this occasionally on the road.
You gotta make it, Brian.
Because on the road out
Here.
on
I
the
feel
road,
like he's gonna...
out the country sometimes you have to, you know what I'm saying, get just as creative based on what you have available to you. But you find those things and then you mix it up and whip it up. Cup of noodles is one of the, you know what I'm saying, still regular things on tour. The ramen, any type of noodle work.
But you know.
Everyone's humbled on tour. When you're on a road trip or you're on a tour bus and you can't...
12-hour drive.
And you're in the middle of nowhere, whatever that gas station is that you got to stop at, whatever they have is what you got. Unless, you know what I'm saying, you stocked up at the grocery store, which is something we learned to do when we would get to cities that would have the nice grocery store. Like if you're on tour in Europe and you get to, you know, somewhere like the UK where you think it might be a lot more familiar imports than maybe Germany, you stock up over there, and then when I get to Germany, hopefully I still got a lot of that stuff left over.
He's got a whole plan.
I feel like this looks real official.
It does, right?
It looks real official.
And I feel like I'm treating it way better than I did when I was younger. Obviously, I was probably a little less...
like...
Now, honestly, can we add the jalapenos after we cook it?
You absolutely can. You can put it on top. I'm going to bake mine in. Will you pass me the cheddar?
Oh.
You gonna cheese it up?
Put a little cheese on top
So,
of mine.
with you being a chef, Asiah,
Yeah.
do you feel like you had a lot of fun eating while broke?
Yes. You know, we did have fun eating while broke. We got really creative. Like, we would take the EBT and go to the Vallarta and get, you know, a bunch of produce for cheap and, like, you know, cheap shrimp, like the little bay shrimps and imitation crab and make our ceviche.
Yeah, it's crazy
you
how
can
your
eat it
shrimp
for, like,
changed.
all day long, you know.
Yeah, when I was in school, by the time I was out of school and I was living on my own for real, it was probably a little bit more fast food when I wasn't able to.
So my fast food go-to wasn't McDonald's. I do eat McDonald's from time to time, but it was El Pollo Loco.
And she was living way.
I would
didn't
live
even
off
know.
these BRC burritos. They're $1.
Yeah.
I would live.
BRC, what is that?
Yes, bean, rice, and cheese.
Oh.
And they used to have. They don't have them anymore. That's why I don't eat El Pollo Loco anymore. They don't have the barbecue black beans they used to have, which were like crack. So you would get this BRC with barbecue black beans, throw your salsa and cilantro in there for $1. You got a whole burrito.
I missed out because I didn't know they were living that good at El Pollo Loco. No one ever put me on.
No one put me
So
on.
I was still like getting the burgers and just
I love
adding
Mexican
sauces
food.
to the regular double cheeseburger that didn't come with it. Like, yo, can I get extra
Mac
pickles and Big Mac sauce and maybe some whatever was only 10 cents maybe extra.
Yeah.
But to
Or
make my
remember
burger
when
stack.
Burger King had your that you could do it your way, and they
Yeah.
didn't charge you extra.
Nah, I would just get all of it and still take stuff off. Like, let me get the lettuce, onions, tomatoes, all that stuff, just so my burger look crazy, and then be like, I don't even want that.
So you can see the
Mine's
difference
going
between
in.
Asia's and ours right away. Hers looks all
Brian's
special.
looks beautiful. So
I
sure.
literally copied Brian's, so
My
I didn't
plate
look.
is like,
I didn't look like the
it's
worst
straight.
cook.
I'm gonna put them directly on the rack.
Okay. When did you guys realize that you arrived? Like, when was that moment where you realized, okay, I'm no longer living like this today. We're gonna eat, I guess, lobster or whatever your favorite expensive meal would be.
I guess in that sense, like, when would I have felt like that was? I mean, because you have those small moments that you think you made it. Because there's always you think you made it. Like, well, this is it. And then some might not all have been all the way there. It just wasn't that time. And then timing, you know what I'm saying, switched it up. I guess when I felt like there was no maybe turning back, or the, you know what I'm saying, faith was high that everything was moving in the right direction, would probably be like my first tour, because I got to actually see the money ahead. So like working in the music, you know what I'm saying, sometimes you're just working, you know what I'm saying. It was points where I was probably on my third mixtape, and I wasn't like, I was a celebrity to some, and you know what I'm saying, was occasionally booking a show or here every couple months or something like that for something small, just to get the show off and do it for Brandon. But I probably had, you know, like 3 mixtapes in where people probably thought I made it, and I was still at the crib, broke, Section 8 EBT, living with mom, doing the same thing as everybody else, you know what I'm saying, not really living any different. But I still had to keep up a energy and image and lifestyle, so I had to, you know what I'm saying. Luckily at that time too, I was getting I was making just, you know what I'm saying, connections with a lot of different people who was helping sponsor, because I wasn't out being able to go shopping and have stuff for music videos and stuff. So it would be people giving me clothes, and like, you know what I'm saying, shout out back in the day, it was like Young and Reckless and Villains and all these different people that I just knew at the time who were making clothes, giving me all these brand new things, to where I was keeping up, but at the same time didn't really have, I was still going to the crib, you know what I'm saying, with a couple dollars in my pocket. So, you know what I'm saying, those are times when everybody else thought I made it, and I could have felt like I made it in a sense of like in the game musically and branding myself and getting somewhere. But when I saw that first tour, and it was like, ooh, 2 months, and I get how much a show and this and that, and like, oh, it's already ready? So I get to just live every day. Like,
Then you got a
there's no worry.
What do they call it? A day? What do they call that daily allowance?
Per diem.
Per
Per
diem.
diem, right. I think,
So
right.
you're the per diem?
Right.
Were you thinking like, I'm going to save this per diem and the check?
Yeah,
Were you-
at that point it was like, you know, then I was living day by day, where it was like, yeah, whatever I got today, it could go to zero because I got a show tomorrow. That was a moment of feeling like, you know what I'm saying, not having that care and feeling like I made it, because it was like,
We had no responsibilities too. I mean,
and I had no
we went from being completely broke
My mom
and
was
having
old.
nothing to look after to all this money is pouring in.
Do you feel like when you first got the money, were you guys, let's go shopping, buy the
We
nicest
fucked
car?
it off.
Or
Absolutely.
really?
But too, I don't think it
Or
was.
you
I don't
didn't
think
try
it
to
was a.
stack some?
Well,
or
no,
say-
you.
Oh,
you
of course.
Yeah, you
Yes.
try. I think
You
everything
learn
is
as you go.
gradual. It comes as like.
In
of course.
the beginning, they knew my name at Saks. Yes.
Yeah, but I didn't like I didn't run into the store and like not first check the price tag, like, if that makes sense. So I wasn't in there like, ooh, Louis don't care how much it costs. I was still making a decision like, this one's $5 and this one's $3.
You
So
still
let
do
me-
that.
Right, so, but that wasn't like, I didn't change in a sense where
Yeah.
I was just like, blow it, but it
Yeah.
gradually was still, we would blow it in other senses of like, what do you want to do? Whatever you want to do. As you're in it, you're not conscious to, it could slow down maybe.
Yeah.
So then when it slows down, then you have to sit back and go, all right, so this is about to come in. How can we make sure that we don't have to wait until that comes in next time? Type shit.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Figure
So
out
you
how
get to like
it
manage
more.
the cash flow better.
Yeah, because you could, when
Yeah.
you see it ahead of time, you spend looking, it's just natural to spend the money that's on the way already, mentally, because it's on the way.
Especially if you didn't have it before. You're like, I worked this hard, might as well.
Yeah.
But I still, you know what's crazy? People always tell me I never treated myself to something that I worked so hard. Like, if that makes sense, like, you never just gone and did that that you want to do because you felt like because in the first 3-4 years, I think I just worked. Work. There wasn't a moment where somebody was like, yeah, you should sit down and enjoy it. I don't think the first 3 years I actually enjoyed having everything. It was still like, all right, we still got to go get some more and keep it going and keep moving and do some more work or it's going to end type vibe.
Yeah.
So.
One of the biggest challenges, I think, is momentum. You know, like, you try to go into it without having false expectations, and then you catch momentum. You know, for like the med spa for say, Smooth Skin Lounge, and just trying to keep that momentum going because it's still a new business. So you see so much money flowing in, but you have employees, you have overhead, you have rent, you just have all these things. So, you know, just trying to keep pushing towards it being big enough to where you can really feel like, okay, I did make it.
And you don't think, when you think about artists, you don't really think, and the more I interview people or the more entertainers I meet, at first when I used to look at entertainers, you just think of them as, this is the face. You don't realize that they're entrepreneurs and they're making all these decisions on a daily basis.
Yeah.
It's not just writing a song or producing a record.
I wish. Emails look crazy sometimes. Nah, I have to have moments and have someone also as like a business partner that I trust, and my wife, luckily. So it's like I have 2 business partners because I can trust that she'll understand, you know what I'm saying, certain things when I'm locked in on a music situation. Like, because even just recently, you know, wrapping up this album Alive, I was locked into the studio, and it was so many other music business and things that I was getting emails for that my business partner, which I trust him to make certain decisions, but if it's like might lean a little bit more towards some branding or something personal that I might be like, yo, why'd you do that? Or I felt like that was corny. This is then he reached out to my wife, and I can be like, all right, I can trust her to get that done, because you have to. I can't think about that and do the creative music part and think that I'm gonna give this 100% and not look back on it later and be like, dang, I missed that. Or I wanted to take that out, or I should have turned that down because I was trying to do that fast so I could answer this question, or just my mind wasn't. So it's definitely you have to be a businessman, but you see it in music all the time. When people start getting real big at the business, then the music starts falling back a little bit. Once you get a little bit too hands-on.
I mean, we can't get an album out of Rihanna. I mean.
Once you start making big money other places, that's the example she's giving. Like, once you start doing this, and it's like, I made $250 million and I didn't have to stress out.
She is busy.
I'm busy doing this.
Yeah, I don't think she's gonna go back to.
Eventually she will. But she's busy. I mean, I get it.
You can't get mad at it, but you can see how, you know, some people, and you see how some people are you know, can sell millions and millions of records, go diamond, do all these things, but can't handle a business or can't come out with a clothing line or can't, because they don't have that. Everyone's not Pharrell. Some people can do it, but Pharrell, what he does is just different. I wish everyone could run like that, because it's hard to keep up with all them different things and feel
you just gotta find your flow and your balance. It's hard.
And your team that can, you know what I'm saying.
Now I'm curious, and this is gonna go to both of you guys. So Asiah, you're, you know, entrepreneur behind the scenes mainly, correct? And then Kid Ink, you're in front of the scenes. So do you feel like one has it easier than the other? Because, and this is a serious question, and this is just playing devil's advocate, not trying to start a fight at home.
No. Just a topic. I don't think that one is necessarily easier than the other, cause I see some of the stuff that, you know, or just hear the conversations, some of the stuff they have to go through, even with today too, with how big social media is and how important it is to your brand. Smooth Skin's Instagram page is just as important as my Instagram page, as far as keeping it up, and making sure that the brand is still just as the followers and the video content. Like, I see her doing just as much video content for their Instagram as it is for mine, and I'd be like, dang, I need to catch up.
He had to teach me how to make my little videos.
But I feel like it's definitely nowadays it's still more of a trade where you still gotta be a cool business just as much as you gotta be a cool entertainer.
It feels more like you guys, iron sharpens iron. There's a little bit of friendly, like, competitiveness, but not really, because you guys share your insider secrets, right? You're like, well, I got this post, and this is what I did to. So it's almost like on the tech side, you know how techies kind of share their codes and then they build up.
Yeah.
Who do you think has cried the most on the business side? Who do you think and have you actually teared up?
From business?
Yes.
Oh, business is stressful sometimes.
But like tears?
When I was first coming up in the game, because you feel like it's not even tears, of sadness. It's tears of like real stress and anger. Like, yo, why this ain't working, or why this not happening the way that I wanted it to happen, or the time. It's more so the time. You start getting fed up with time. See, like, this isn't doing what I wanted to do, and I've been putting so much work and effort into this, and you start getting stressed out. And then you gotta, you know what I'm saying? I thought about that. I'm someone who can easily, when I was younger, easily fight and cry out of anger. So you know what I'm saying? I'll naturally tear up just out of anger. So if I'm in a fight, like when I was younger, it would don't let the tears fool you.
Yeah.
Don't let the tears fool you, for sure.
And I know, Asiah, you just took a bite, but first of all, this is amazing. So now I will be making this. I will be making this one.
This is so good.
Really good.
Play yourself.
I wanted to say, Asiah, when was the last time you cried over your business, and what was it in detail?
Probably a week ago. But honestly, I'm just this is like my baby, and this is my first business that is actually like going. I've tried to do other businesses in the past, and they didn't work out, And a lot of it was just immaturity, being inexperienced. And so now it gets frustrating as a mom too, having to pull away from being with your kids or being here at your business. You know what I mean? So I cry all the time. I'm always frustrated. And then me and my partner are like brother and sister, so we go at it, and we do.
I can't tell you guys how much I appreciate having you both come out and feed us this gourmet dish. I've eaten some pretty rad dishes on this show, but I was really excited to be able to lay out all these options. Everybody in production was asking what we are making that has this many ingredients. Do you feel like you've arrived, or do you feel like that pivotal point hasn't arrived yet?
I feel like I feel like I'm always becoming, first of all. Like, I'm still becoming. I'm working on smooth skin, and that's going, but we're still beginning. I still would like to do more branding with cooking. So it changes. Like, I think I had superficial ones in the beginning, like, my first Louboutins he bought me in Paris, like, then,
that could be it for somebody.
There's things like, when we bought our first house, or I got to be featured in Vogue pregnant, like, I've never, let's be clear, I've never signed up with any modeling agency ever. So that for me,
I'm surprised to even hear that.
No, any work I've done modeling or acting, I was doing myself. I never joined with an agency. So that was still really big for me to have that moment. Yeah, Mama, I'm on Vogue.com.
I even felt it. I was like, yo,
pregnant with the milk. So that was nice, but those things still, I just feel like that's not it for me, you know? There's still more to come.
Do you think that's because the bar is high, or is it because, playing devil's advocate, are you not taking that moment in, like how Kid Ink was saying that and I think this is what you were saying, that you never really got a chance to take it in, or no one told you to take it in.
Keep, pushing the bar.
Because if you look at Smooth Skin, it's open, it's out, you can show, like, those are all these huge milestones, but you're like, well, I still, and I get it, because I feel like most entrepreneurs feel that way, but I'm wondering, like, what the root is. Is it because you're not taking it in the moment, or is it because you keep moving the needle forward?
I think from the outside looking in, not to cut off, I think they definitely in their business have had moments where I've seen them stress out or want to accomplish something, and I'll go, yo, but you guys are killing it right now. Yeah. You're killing it. It's cool, but I don't, you know what I'm saying? It's not a bad, I guess, you know what I'm saying, mindset to be in, but it's definitely moments where I'll be like, you know what I'm saying, her or a business partner, like, yo, it's chill out. Stop stressing. Like, the numbers can be different from yesterday. Do you see what they looked like all week? Like, you know what I'm saying? You just chill out.
Yeah.
And think about, like, the times we're in, you know what I'm saying? Those type of things that you have to come into play. But when you want just it to be so big or do more, you know what I'm saying? Can't really help that.
I'm striving for generational wealth.
That too. I think once you feel like
that's why
no one else has to worry.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry is one thing. My kids don't have to worry, and then I can feel like their kids might not have to worry is, I guess, more of a, Mom, look what I did for them. Yeah, maybe.
You guys are looking for that sleep money that we don't have to get up and chase it every day money?
Yeah,
yes.
I don't know what that, I don't actually, yeah. I still work for mine. I don't know.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I'm still working for mine too.
I don't know what it is. You know, well, no, I'm not going to say that I'm not blessed to have certain situations or, you know what I'm saying, the right publishing situations where I do have, you know what I'm saying, things that come in that I go, oh
yeah, because you write.
Forgot about,
Check.
you know what I'm saying, writing things, doing things for movies, commercials, whatever the case may be. There are things that I have set in stone that'll forever collect money. So I am definitely blessed and appreciate that for sure. But, JC? No. You know what I'm saying? It's still a level that I would like to accomplish mentally. So, yeah, my bar might be set super high than most, but at the same time, I still won't say that at the end of the day when it's all over that I won't feel like I was successful. But right now I still have to not be stagnant with that. I gotta want to push for more, or I think then it'll just go backwards.
How many years total have you been in the game? Prior to everybody knowing who you are, I know you started as a producer.
So I probably started making music for fun when I was 15. Mm-hmm. Like thinking like, I can make music for other people. Like I think I knew how to make music or play the piano.
What was the first time you got paid for?
The first time I got paid for music was probably like I think it was like a reproduction for. It was a reproduction for an Alice Cooper record that Sean Kingston was redoing for some promo. Like it wasn't like a single or anything, but it was like something that I think was special for an Alice Cooper anniversary, and he was redoing this song. Can't remember what the name of the song was 'cause I was mad young, and then probably paid me like $400.
What? But how'd you get it?
Just how did I get it? I think it was more so, still when I was 16, I was always moving around, seeing who the new rappers were, always moving my beats around, always staying just, I think, in the mix. And it's not that it's not hard, but in LA, you can know where to be at the right time or know how to meet certain people or be like, yo, listen to this or this and that. Or you might have a relative that's like, yo, here's an opportunity. So I think it was just, can't remember how the opportunity came, but it was just somebody said, hey, you got one of these, and they knew they could get it from me for cheap. So they were like, I might have to pay this guy $5,000. I can pay this guy $400 or if that was even what I got. And he's cool with that. So, you know what I'm saying? They got that done, and I can't remember who the business was with it. But then after that, that opens up doors. So then I meet different people or, at the time, because that's us Mama I Made It moments. That was a Mama I Made It moment for sure. And then go back to the hood. And then it's like, all right, we back to regular. And then I get the record that I made for Nipsey, Bullets Ain't Got No Names. And then that, he gets the deal off that. That blows up. Another Mama I Made It moment. Made my first check for $5,000. Again, it took 3 months, but you can't do nothing about that. So imagine, and that's not anyone from his team's problem. That's the labels. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, labels work. So he was with Sony, I think, at the time, and they're not like thinking about me like, yeah, we got to make sure we get him the bag. Nah,
No.
I think they flew me out to New York. I hung out. I was making all kind of beats, doing this and this and that. And then it got to a point where I was in New York like, yo, man, I need to get paid because I'm running out of money. So, my mom only gave me like $200 for like 2 weeks. So, I'm trying to figure out what we doing here. And then I ended up, from that moment, leaving New York and going back home and back to regular lifestyle again.
Yeah.
So then, like, that was another almost made it moment. And then, you know what I'm saying? But that opened up the doors for me, you know what I'm saying, going to the studio with Nipsey and then meeting Young Berg, Hitmaker now. And then, that opened up doors for me meeting DJ Ill Will, which opened up doors for me dropping my first mixtape, which then trickled down to where we are now. So I think, it's different moments where I was like, I made it, and then it turned around, but then I seen how that turned into something else.
Yep, always becoming.
So...
Now, was there ever a point where you felt like you had to choose between a 9 to 5? Now, I know your mom, so I know she's all about, fight for your dreams and go after what you want. I don't think she has a settlement plan ever for any of you guys.
Nah.
But was there ever a moment where you thought, prior to the 400, because I'm sure that 400 was like, that's what I'm doing forever, right?
So, so I think my first, like, real job that I went out and got was retail. It was easy. You go to the mall, fill out a bunch of applications, see who hires you. I worked at the Gap. And then I always knew I wanted to do music, so I always had this mindset like, all right, when you work a 9 to 5, though, make sure it's something that's not going to hurt your future. You know what I'm saying? When they bring it back up and they're like, yo, why were you doing that, though? So, you know what I'm saying? Retail was something I was always into fashion. Got the easy job at the Gap. Wasn't really my vibe as far as, you know what I'm saying, just the work that they had us doing. I felt, just like I was just folding t-shirts all day and wasn't really selling any clothes or any clothes that I was into. So then I moved from there and got a job at Nordstrom's because I knew somebody who worked at Nordstrom's. They hooked me up.
And this is all prior to your passion for music?
Yeah, well, no, I always made music.
Okay.
So it was like when I was 15, before I had a job, I always made music. I think my mom, but the normal LA kid thing from the hood too is, you want to do some extra work and do some acting? Yeah. So, she threw me into the acting. You get an agent, they have you do a couple things here, and, and then it's whatever. And then some people make it, some people don't, I guess. But for me, I did the acting thing for a minute, but then I started getting tattoos when I was 16. And then that kind of took away from me trying to be able to do any Disney or any vibes that was gonna be like
now
that.
Your music has played in Disney movies,
right?
And
I seen how there were certain things
Disney?
No, for sure.
Disney.
I have, I don't know, something.
He's done
kids movies.
Yeah, kids movies.
They kids movies.
How does it feel now,
I don't got a
though?
Disney single yet. We'll be there. Nah. But I think there's certain things that I started to realize came from me just doing what I loved and what I had a passion for, and the other stuff would just start to come just from being good at, you know what I'm saying, this, and they might open up doors for other opportunities for me to get into that. I've always wanted to go to X Games my whole life. I got to perform at X Games. I always wanted to go to a wrestling match. My first wrestling match, I got to perform at WrestleMania. Like, these are things that I probably never thought I was ever going to be able to do unless I did certain things or met certain people, or I didn't think, like, rap's going to get me in WrestleMania. But if I was younger, I probably would have been even more into it, like, whoa, rap's going to get me in WrestleMania. But I didn't know. But when I saw how it all worked out, I was like, yo, that was pretty cool. Like, that was something that happened.
You manifested all.
Right. Like, it was definitely manifested, and it was something that, again, I wanted to do, but didn't know that was going to bring me to getting to that place. So, and I have a WrestleMania chair in my house that I didn't have to, hustle for on eBay.
Yeah, exactly. Now, before we close out, I'm just curious, since we are on the topic and manifesting came out, what do you think are the, 3 secrets to success, going from being broke in your living room around naysayers or whomever to where you are at now? What's consistent the most in your everyday life, would you say, towards the goal of success?
There's not a ceiling. You have, everyone puts some type of expectation of when they need to feel successful by, or how much money they have to be successful. There's no ceiling. once you accomplish one, you're gonna go on to the next. Or if this one fails, you're gonna go on to the next. There's no ceiling. Keep going, keep doing it. Even with musicians, maybe you won't be the next rapper, but there are musicians making a living off of music in hundreds of different fields, you know, like.
Yeah, but I think the thing that you realize the most, of course, like speaking things into existence, and speaking things out of existence is important. I mean, some people can, you know, you're definitely always supposed to have those moments where you can vent and get things out, but you always gotta have that confidence there. And I think, you know, that confidence is what you see a lot of people strive from, where you go, how did that person do that with no talent? Because they walked in the building. Like when they say when you walk in the building, no one's gonna ask you where, if you're supposed to be there, if you got the right confidence.
I'm gonna steal that.
Yeah, you gotta be that when you walk in the building and be exactly, you know what I'm saying, what it is, and not have any, I guess, you know, insecurities on that behalf, and people will look at you the exact same way.
You know, even with Smooth Skin, when I feel like I'm going to like pull my hair out literally and just run away from it all, I get dressed up really nice when I go in the office the next day. You know, it just makes me feel...
Clothing, trust me, it makes
me feel like I came, baby, I'm here.
I could be at home in the home studio, and I can tell that if I was at home locked in sweats for a week, that one Friday, even if I wasn't going nowhere, that I got mad dressed up, threw all my chains on, and went to the backyard to the studio, the energy is gonna be different. It's gonna be a little bit more feeling myself when I'm in there instead of just working. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a little.
That is why rappers wear all their chains.
It's more of an energy. Or you look at it and it's like, look what I got. Ooh, look where I'm at.
But you know what though? It makes sense. I never even thought of that.
Yeah.
To be honest, but it does make sense. Like, you know, when you look good, you feel good, and your confidence is up.
Right.
You feel like, hey, I can.
I learned that the hard way, and she already had it on point. When you're in the gym, I didn't used to care about what I was wearing in the gym. I would just go to the gym. But once I started getting matched up, like I was like, oh, you matching shoes too? And then I would get matched up. I could understand, like I look in the mirror, like, we gonna work out today. Yeah, we work, look at the shoes, this blue, they gonna see me running. And it's a whole different mentality than if you just go in there in the mismatched joints, you're like, all right, I'm working out, my wife beat her today. And that is what it is.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for coming out,
for
especially on your birthday. So today we're gonna close out. I got you a couple different cake options so we can all gain weight, so you guys can compete in the workout.
Original. I don't know if it's vanilla in there.
That's vanilla chocolate.
Carrot with walnuts.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yo, man, appreciate you guys for chilling with us. You know what it is, eating while broke. We had this amazing piece of toast, and I hope y'all learned something new today.
Yes, with Kid Ink and Asiah, we had awesome pizza toast today. Thank you.